watching Let's Chat.
Every few weeks, we get to spend a little bit of time with C. Mark and John Mark, of course, Warren and Griffin. Today is one of those days, and here they are. C. Mark and John Mark. Guys, good morning to you both.
Chip, good morning.
And let's go ahead and say it yes now.
Ain't
it great to be alive and in Tennessee?
Yeah, go Big Orange.
And I guess it's almost football time.
It is almost football time in Tennessee.
In fact, tomorrow we're going to be talking with Bob Kessling, the voice of the Vols.
Wow.
And we're certainly looking forward to that. Lots to cover, short time to do it, and I want to talk to you folks about the People's Court of Chattanooga.
Did you realize we got a People's Court here?
I did not.
A People's Court. I mean, you remember Judge Wapner back
Sure.
in the day, you know, and we had elections recently to elect our judges every 6 years or 8 years, I think they are. And we have 5 judges, and General Sessions Court is our People's Court, which means that there's no need for a lawyer. You show up in front of a judge, you file some paperwork, he or she will hear the case and rule.
But it is always better to have a lawyer, correct?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Certainly, some things are a lot more complex than others. We call it People's Court. The Sessions Court is a fantastic device for people that have claims that are worth less than $25,000.
Right.
And we've got 5 terrific judges.
How much does that cover as far as a percentage of the cases are concerned?
Oh, a lot of them. That's a very, very busy docket.
Right.
Docket days on Monday, you can go up there and for a half hour, 45 minutes, hear all the cases called. A perfect example of People's Court is, say, for example, you hire a contractor to put in a new deck. And the contractor gives you a great price on the deck, but they need $1,000 to go out and buy supplies. And you write the check for $1,000 to go out and buy some supplies, and you never see them again. That is a perfect case for People's Court.
And sadly, you hear all too many cases like that, and it seems like a lot of these folks prey on the elderly folks,
yes,
and the folks who really can't afford to be taken advantage of.
And that's where the court clerks come in. The Hamilton County General Sessions Court clerks are so patient that if you as an individual and not a lawyer want to show up there and tell the court clerk the issue that you have, be it elderly or being someone that has been ripped off by somebody, you know, it's a handwritten complaint that you can do right then and there. Now, you got to pay a filing fee, and the filing fee is about $147, so you got to write a check for that. But then the sheriff will serve the paperwork, and then you show up in court one Monday to either get the case set for trial or take a judgment against the defendant that didn't show up.
And while they can't give you any legal advice, they're extremely helpful in getting cases filed for individuals who aren't represented.
Oh, without doubt. In fact, I've seen some of those folks down at the courthouse in action. You couldn't tell they weren't a lawyer by listening to them talk. And like in a lot of other cases in the medical profession, who does a lot of the heavy lifting, or most of the heavy lifting? The nurses or the doctors?
Absolutely.
It's the nurses,
well, sometimes as lawyers, we're sitting there waiting to hear our case called, and we see a pro se person, pro se means without a lawyer, argue a case, and I'm sitting there saying, they're doing a great job.
Yeah, exactly.
They're doing a great job. I mean, as far as putting their case on, putting in proof, I mean, I'm impressed with Hamilton County citizens that get up there and argue a case.
It says here there's so many things you can do. You can file a warrant, and again, as both of these guys said, the sheriff will serve a copy of the warrant so the recipient knows this is the real deal.
Yeah,
We mean business.
It's a civil warrant.
It's a much shorter form that's utilized. You know, that as far as what's utilized to initiate a case, it's not like a big stack of papers that you would think you'd have to file in the circuit court, but it's a shorter form that has everything on basically on one page, and it can be filled out, filed with the court, and served by the sheriff.
We have less than a minute to go. What if the person doesn't like the response or the answer or the ruling they get from the judge?
That's the beauty of General Sessions Court. There's an automatic right for appeal. You have 10 days to appeal the verdict automatically if you want to.
10 days.
10 days.
And it's like as if you start all over in circuit court.
Start all over.
All right, C. Mark, John Mark, we are running out of time, sadly. We are going to reinstigate, bring back again the infamous Chapman, Griffin, Warren throwing out of the T-shirt.
Yes,
the big orange T-shirt giveaway, right?
Big orange T-shirt giveaway, September the 22nd.
When it's going to start.
Out of Food City somewhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, one thing before we get off, Chip. School started back. Let's pay attention to the speed zones for school zones. the crossing guards, you know, let's watch for them in school buses.
Good advice.
Stop for school buses.
Good advice as always. And I'll tell you, it's not a piece of legal advice, but a good sound bit of life advice. You better look out for Isa Baez, who was our previous guest here.
Yes.
She's going to be marching down the courtroom.
She certainly
one of these days.
I'm going to give her my card on the way out.
All right, you better. You better. Check them out, warrenandgriffin.com. That's warrenandgriffin.com. We'll see you back here for News 12 at noon.